So appreciate you coming on. We've got another Behind the Business episode. I think this is episode 1 or 2. I want to say 2. But we got my man Zach. Definitely appreciate you for coming on. Just hop right into it. Okay?
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about your background, just for people who don't really know you. A little bit about where you came from, what you're doing now, going in the future. So.
Yeah. First of all, thank you so much for having me on. But yeah, second of all, as far as my background, born and raised in the St. Louis area, middle class background. Dad was in like construction and contracting all my life. My mom's always been like working in the front desk, and I saw from a very young age that how hard my dad had to work and like how grueling that was. Like I always worked with my dad in the summers and whatnot, and like manual labor is tough, bro. Really, really tough work, and I realized from a very young age I did not want to do that. And I also always had this fascination with cars, like exotic cars. I'm like, I'm talking third grade, I was buying car magazines. And I'm like, how do I get a car like that? And so like I was always trying to figure out like, I know there's a better way to success. Like I only knew middle class background, but I had the dreams of some of the luxury stuff. And anyway, so I have always kind of thought in an entrepreneurial, like always seeking opportunities. And then in college, one thing led to another. I had a couple internships, and I was already pretty good at social media marketing. I was doing that with an ambassadorship that I had with a company, and I came across the idea of a social media marketing agency whenever I was going into my junior year in college, and I'm like, you know what? I don't need to be 30 or 40 to start a business like this. Like this is something I can start now. So I went and got an internship at a social media marketing agency because I wanted to learn the business model and learn what they did. And then the entire time I was trying to figure out how will I do things differently. And right when that ended, it was July 31st of 2015. 5 days later, by August 5th, I had my first contract on my own. So that's how I started.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I had a volleyball scholarship as well, and quit that to completely pursue this. So,
Jeez.
Yeah.
No, that's all in. I love that mentality, just like that hustle. So definitely seems like you were a early adapter as far as social media marketing goes, just because I know Tyler Best kind of made his course and kind of became
that was like late 2016. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there were no courses, nothing, like no good resources for me whenever I started.
Get it out the mud, like for real. You have to go through it, and just to put yourself in that situation, I definitely appreciate that.
Yeah.
And I just want to acknowledge that, because it's not something that a lot of people have the courage to do, to walk away from the safe path of school and to kind of venture out. Because did you know anybody that's doing social media marketing or anything like that? Or?
No, no. So I had an ambassadorship with this company called Chubby Shorts. They really market to a bunch of like frat guys and college guys, and so they're shorter shorts. And I was in school in this like middle of nowhere town. It's called Quincy, Illinois. If anyone is in the St. Louis area, it's like 2 hours north of St. Louis. But this was in January when I got the ambassadorship. These shorts are like 5-inch inseam, like they're short shorts. They're bringing back like the 70s shorts back. And I'm like, well, we get paid by getting free product. But in order to do that, we have to get other people to use our promo code when they're making purchases. Mm-hmm. I'm like, well, none of my friends in Illinois or Missouri are buying short shorts in general, especially not in January. So I'm like, well, I better use social media. Like if I want some sales, if I want more free product, I need to use social media to find other people that will buy them. And I used my Instagram account, and that first semester I got 6th in sales at about 250 ambassadors. Most of them were all like huge southern schools, UCLA, USC, Florida. I'm like, I know a thing or two. I was like, I feel like I'm not doing anything too crazy, but I'm like, I know a thing or two about some social media that I know businesses can profit from, literally profit from. Like I was getting sales for this other business. I'm like, I could do this for more businesses. And so I was looking for an internship that I could just do it directly for one business. And that's when I came across the social media marketing company. I'm like, I didn't even know that was a thing yet, because it was so early on in social media. Like I knew that companies were using social media. I didn't think that they would outsource to another company to run their social media. Right. And when I realized that, I'm like, why would I not do this right now? So like it wasn't really scary. If anything, it was really encouraging to see I was on such the early trend of it. It made it much easier to stand out and really kind of establish my brand. Before now, we have all of these guys taking a 5-hour total long course, and they're like, oh yeah, we're going to start our agency and we're experts. I'm like, no, you're not, but it's okay. So it was encouraging for me to see that I was on the early trend.
Definitely. I mean, all I can really say about that is shoot, you know?
Yeah.
Because things can line up for somebody, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to follow through with it. So still, I want to just commend you for taking that action and doing what you needed to do to get where you are right now.
Yeah.
So I know it wasn't an easy path from where you are now to where you started.
Still isn't easy.
Yeah, exactly. It's not going to get any easier either. You know?
Yeah.
So it's an uphill climb. But what would you say was one of the experiences or the setbacks that taught you the most?
Man, there's a lot. Can I say 2?
That's fine.
Okay. So number 1, I was afraid to invest in myself. This is like outside of specifically social media marketing, but like I wanted to grow and wanted to reach those next levels of success, but I had a bad money mindset in the fact that I was afraid to spend a couple $100 on a course, or I was afraid to spend $1,000 in a mastermind or mentorship. And I didn't really start to grow until I finally shifted that. And I finally was like, all right, you know what? I need professional help. Even the pros, even Michael Jordan still had coaches. Even LeBron still has coaches. Like the best of the best in any industry still have coaches. I'm not better than them. I need a coach. So then that's whenever I started investing in some different programs and mentorship. And that helped out a lot. The other thing was I realized, this is actually early 2018, I was aiming way too low.
Yeah.
And so many people and this is something else that we are taught in school, the idea of a SMART goal, specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and timely. But the A is like the worst thing in the world, the attainable. People think that you need to aim for these low goals because it's like, oh, you don't want to hurt your self-esteem if you don't hit the goal. It's like, no, this is actually the 10X rule that really taught me this.
Yeah.
But when you aim for something attainable, you're only limited to your mindset. Like if I'm making 30 grand a year and I tell, I don't know, some random person, if I tell a homeless person, I say, hey, next year I'm going to make 100,000, he's going to be like, dude, there's no way, get real. But if I go tell Bill Gates I want to make 100,000 next year, he'd be like, why are you aiming so small? Right? And so when I finally realized, because I was aiming for 100,000, I'm like, I can't even get, I'm close, but I couldn't get there. And because I'm 3.5 years into the business now. And this year when I'm like, why have I not hit it yet? And then I realized I've only been aiming for 100,000. And so now I'm like, nope, 250. And 6 weeks later, I had my first, it was a 5-figure month. It was $10,000. And 6 weeks later, before that, my highest month was $6,000 in profit.
That's crazy.
So yeah, dude, it's truly you go wherever you set your mind to. And it's are you going to set your mind low or set it high? So those were my 2 biggest things. Is I needed to shift my mindset to think bigger and act bigger. And then also I needed to start investing in myself.
Definitely. So I know you said kind of that the 10X rule at the beginning of 2018 kind of kicked off that, the mindset of thinking bigger. Mm-hmm. What was it that sparked you to really see that you needed to invest in yourself and that you would need to kind of humble yourself and get coaches and things like that?
It's a good question. I think my first time I ever bought a course of any sort, because that would have been my first investment, was a $500 course or $497. And it was Billy Jean from Billy Jean is Marketing, and honestly, it was just good marketing on his part. I was not in the mindset of I need to go get a course, but he marketed his so well to my pain points that I needed solved. I'm like, I can't not do this. I have what's it what can I lose? $500 or $500,000 that I could potentially be making. I'm I'd much rather lose the 500 for the opportunity to gain far more. And when I saw that, when I did it, I'm like, wow. I closed the next deal that I went out and pitched. I'm like, I learned that directly from what I just learned in there. I'm like, I need to keep learning. And that's when there was just a spiral effect from there.
Definitely. Shout out to Billy Jean.
Yeah.
Did he have hair back then, or was he still?
No, he's always been bald. Yeah, as long as I've been following him, he's always been bald.
That's cool for sure. So I mean, it's cool that you have everything set up right now. But when you were getting everything off the ground, when you dropped out of college,
I didn't drop out. I just quit.
I walked away from that scholarship.
Yeah.
Sorry. So did you get any like resistance from that, or like you taking this non-traditional route and trying to build up a business for yourself? Did you get any? How was that resistance? Tell me how you dealt with it.
It was mainly from my mom, actually. Love her. She loves me. She supports me in what I'm doing now. But she cried whenever I was saying that I was going to quit volleyball. Like when I told her I was going to start a company, she's like, "Oh yeah, that's great. Like go do that." And I'm like, "Hey, I'm going to quit volleyball too." She's like, "What are you doing?" And she just like burst into tears because she realized like I was actually committed, and that was probably the hardest part, is like having the loved ones say like, "What are you doing?" I had a bunch of friends. I mean, a lot of friends in college are gonna be like, "Oh yeah, that's cool. Like go do it." But then like also the other pushback there is whenever you are trying to stay in on a Friday or Saturday night and you're trying to get some work done, and they barge in the room. They're like, "Here's a beer. You're drinking with us tonight." Like that was really tough, and it was trying to cut off a couple of those ties that were not healthy for me. That was almost impossible until I got out of college, but it was really, really hard not having the support that I would have thought I would have had from closer, like people that were really, really close to me. But I used that as motivation. And some people are going to be like, "Oh, I shouldn't do it." But it's like, who cares? Like, I don't care if it's your fiance, if it's your significant other, your parent, your kid, whatever. Like, who cares what they think? Because their thoughts don't determine your success. Your actions determine your success. And it's like, are you going to let someone else's opinions deter you from following your dreams? Like, I'm sure as heck not. So that was like, I used it as motivation. I was like, you know what? It's okay. She just hasn't seen someone go out and do something and actually set their mind to it and achieve it. So I just have to prove it to her, and I have done that now, and now she's like totally supportive of what I do. So yeah, that was probably the biggest thing.
For sure, I appreciate that open-mindedness and just being able to kind of step back from your reaction. I know how you said that you didn't have the support that you expected to have, and so just kind of being able to take it on the chin and keep rolling with it. That's definitely something that's key in entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
Another question I want to ask you is, what would you say is one of the best perks of being an entrepreneur and one of the worst parts of being an entrepreneur?
Let's go with worst first. Worst is without a doubt. There's two parts, but I'll try to stick to one. Well, I'm gonna give two. So the worst part initially was learning how to keep yourself accountable. There's no one saying, "Hey, you have to go into work today," or "You have to get work done today." There's no one doing that. It's like, if you don't want to do it, you don't have to do it. But at the same time, if you don't want to do it, you're not going to make money either. So like, that's really tough for someone that's never done it before. Like, I think that's one of the hardest parts about going into an entrepreneurial type of position is having to keep yourself accountable. There's no one else out there that's like, "Hey, you need to go do this." It's like, you can or you can't. It's up to you. That was tough. Now it's, I'm used to that. Like I love that. And now it's more so having the risk, but yet motivation. Like, I didn't think of it as risky earlier, because earlier I was like in college or I was single. I'm like, I just have to make, I don't know, a couple thousand to like take care of myself and pay some bills and whatever. But now it's like I'm engaged, I'm looking for marriage. And it's like, at this point, we're gonna have far more bills to pay, and I'm comfortable with that. But at the same time, there is a level of like tension. It's like, all right, I can't flirt with danger here. Like, got to make sure that I'm staying on my grind and making sure I do not get complacent. So that's really tough now, is like having a little bit more mental pressure, and it's totally self-imposed. But yeah, so I would say that's the worst. But I also use that as motivation. So it's like, it is what it is. Exactly. Best part, without a doubt, for myself, and this is just personal values, the time and flexibility in my schedule. Being able to, you say, "Hey, let's do this interview at 9 tomorrow," and I say, "All right, cool." Like, I don't have someone else saying, "No, you have to be at work," or like, "You have to take care of this client." It's like, no, I don't. Like, yeah, exactly. But you still have to make sure you're balancing that with still getting work done. But like I could go take a vacation whenever I want. And additionally, with my line of work, like I can work from wherever I want as long as I have Wi-Fi. So the lifestyle that comes with it and being able to have the freedom and the flexibility in your schedule, hands down, bar none, like the best perk for me that comes with entrepreneurship.
Definitely. That resonates with me a lot. I don't know anybody that doesn't like to be in control of their time and their schedule. I feel like everybody just kind of gets, I don't want to say, I guess agitated or flustered when you always have somebody in your face telling you what to do.
Mm-hmm.
That's not really a way to live, in my opinion. But so, what advice would you give to an up-and-coming entrepreneur? I mean, you've given a lot of different great gems just throughout this, a lot of just like different aspects that people can take and look at, you know, and see like your mindset and the growth behind it. But if you just had to give somebody one piece of advice, what would it be off the cuff?
My man, that is tough. One piece. I know I've broken all of your other rules, so I'm going to actually try to stick to this one. Go all in. Like, going all in is severely underrated. Like, so many people want to have a backup option of like, oh, like, well, let's go to school and let's get the degree just in case. Or like, oh, I'll also have this job in case, like, until I get this other, until I get my own little thing up and running. And like for myself, another huge thing I did in my journey so far is whenever I graduated college, I had like one client at the time, like hardly paying me anything. But I knew that if I went and got a part-time job until I got more clients, I knew I wouldn't focus as hard to get more clients. So I committed myself and said, I'm not going to apply for another job. I'm not going to try to get a single other money-making opportunity unless it's within my company. And going all in, like, you take yourself far more seriously, others take you more seriously, and you start to see some massive results when you fully commit to plan A. You burn your bridges, you burn the boat behind you and say, no, we're here and we're sticking to it. And when you have that mindset, you realize that whenever the tough times are going to come, which is inevitable, like failure is going to happen. It's not if it happens, it's when it's going to happen and how many times it's going to happen. And instead of whenever those tough times come, if you have a backup plan, you're going to be so much more likely to say, you know what, throw in the towel, white flag, let's stop. But if you burn your bridges and you say, no, I'm all in, you can't be bought out of the tough times, and instead you're going to be like, nope, we're going to keep pushing through, keep tearing down this wall, and eventually you're going to get through those walls. And that's where the really, really rewarding parts of the career start to happen. But so many people try to keep too many backup options, and it might work for some people, but that's just not how I roll, and I've never seen someone else see massive success by having backup options. So go all in.
Definitely, that's huge. So I think this is going to be my last question for you.
Okay.
I know you just mentioned that failure is inevitable.
Yeah.
And obviously as an entrepreneur, just as a person, you're going to fail.
For sure.
Miserably at so many different things. So how did you keep in stride when those failures kept reoccurring? You know, like what were some of those failures you faced, and how did you keep yourself just in the right mindset to do what you needed to do and not let those deter you?
Yeah. So number one, you cannot rely. This is what I first tried doing. I tried relying on having a supportive network. I didn't have a supportive network originally. Now I have an incredible fiance that like she pushes me very, very hard towards my goals, but like before that, and even like at the earlier parts of our relationship, the biggest thing for me is I focus roughly about an hour a day on personal development and growth or sales or whatever the push is coming in. So like if the failure is I can't sell a deal or I can't close a deal, then I'm going to start focusing an hour a day minimum on closing skills, on sales skills, on prospecting skills, until I get past that wall. And then the next wall might be, I don't know how to lead my employees, or right now I only have one, but like maybe I'm having a hard time really communicating with them and leading properly. Then it's like, okay, cool, that 1 hour a day then shifts to leadership, ownership. Like all of that will then translate to breaking past that wall. People say like, going to motivational conferences is dumb because it doesn't last forever. And it's like, well, yeah, but like they may have heard the analogy that, hey, showers don't last forever either. Like you still have to take those every single day. You still have to brush your teeth every single day. And it's the consistent actions is what will get you past those walls. So I always devote about an hour a day to some type of growth, and whatever the subject is totally, that's going to depend on what am I facing in my business that's the most challenging in that moment. So right now it's just pure motivation, to be completely honest. Right now it's like I need to level up, and at the moment I don't have a specific skill that's like I need that to be leveled up. It's my mindset that needs to be leveled up even more. And so right now I'm focusing an hour a day on like mindset, growth, positivity, things like that, because that will manifest into your day-to-day actions. And that's where you generally can get past those pushbacks. So like I've sucked at closing deals, I've sucked at retaining certain clients, I've taken on the wrong clients. I mean, you name the failure, I've had it, like plain and simple. So it just depends, but that's my advice on that one.
No, I think that's huge. I think that's a great thing to end on. So pretty much what I heard you saying is that you take full accountability and just like ownership of your results.
Yeah.
So I know a lot of people, if they mess something up, they'll kind of sweep it under the rug, or, try and hide it in class or something like that and just ignore it. But when you do it, it's kind of like that thing compounds. So instead, you kind of just rip the Band-Aid off, and you're like, okay, well, what needs to be changed to make this happen?
Exactly.
And I think that inversion is what has you at the success that you're at right now, and that's what's keeping you on the track to more.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I definitely appreciate you and your time.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Great interview. Definitely drop some nuggets in there. You got anything you want to plug in or anything like that? You want to send people to?
I mean, if you want to get connected with me, follow me on probably Instagram is going to be the best way to get in touch with me. My handle is just Zach Hesterberg, ZachHesterberg. My last name is too long sometimes, but
I didn't want to say it earlier.
yeah. Zach Hesterberg on Instagram. You can also find me on Facebook. Not like my fan pages or anything. Just go follow me on my personal page. Like, shoot me a DM, shoot me a personal message. Like, would love to actually connect with people. I truly I love connecting with other people. Like, you and I met offline.
Yeah.
And I think I reached out to you just because you had a St. Louis hat on. I'm like, hey, let's connect. Like, I love connecting with people, and now look, that's like we've hung out multiple times. We meet up, yeah, exactly. And so there's a lot of. I think that's something else that's extremely underrated. We have this online world, and we're spending so much time on it. But why not utilize that to then translate to real, tangible things, whether that be business partnerships, relationships, friendships. Use that for the good. So feel free to connect with me. I would love to, whether that be just give some advice to someone on digital marketing, entrepreneurship, or just be friends or whatever. Would love to connect.
Definitely. I'll go ahead and link everything that he said, his Facebook and his Instagram, in the comments below. Definitely reach out to him, let him know what you thought about this interview. Make sure, turn on your post notifications, like and subscribe. Leave me a comment below and tell me what you thought about this too. And share it with one person, right? Appreciate you guys for watching. Like I said, I appreciate you, bro. I can't thank you enough.
Yeah.
And
it's been a pleasure, man. Thank you very much.
Thanks, bro.